Jackisa Sounds. Radio, stories, life.
In Nimule, South Sudan, a town nestled in the southernmost tip of the country, the echoes of war still linger. Decades of conflict have ravaged this once thriving community, leaving in its wake a trail of devastation and despair. According to a 2022 report to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Human Rights Affairs, over 4 million people have been displaced in South Sudan since 2013, with many more struggling to access basic necessities like food, water, and healthcare, especially in rural areas. Statistics provided by the World Bank and UNICEF in 2022 are so staggering, with an estimated 7.5 million people in South Sudan living below the poverty line, with 1.6 million internally displaced persons and over 2.3 million living as orphan children. The situation is exacerbated by the presence of armed groups and militias, which, according to Human Rights Watch in 2020, have contributed to the culture of violence and fear. Jackisa News understands that the most vulnerable members of the society are children, women, and the elderly, bearing the brunt of the conflict. Orphan children are forced to fend for themselves, while the elderly citizens are left to struggle with limited access to healthcare and social services, according to Health Aid International. Despite these challenges, there are glimmers of hope. Local organizations and community groups are working tirelessly to provide critical support to those affected by the conflict. One of such organizations is Christian Aid for the Needy and the Underprivileged Persons, which has established an orphanage, pre-primary and primary school programs for the elderly, providing spiritual guidance as well as working with local authorities to end gang violence. On this episode, we'll be joined by Mr. Vuciri, the founder of CANUP, to explore the remarkable work of his organization, to look into its impact to the community, the challenges they face, the goals and the vision for their future, and examine how their unique and innovative approach is helping to drive a positive change in Nimule and beyond. Welcome to Versioning Africa.
Stephen, and
thank you.
I understand you're joining me from Nimule, the southern part of South Sudan.
Yeah.
Tell me about this organization of yours, CANUP, Christian Aid for the Needy and Underprivileged Persons.
Okay, this organization called Christian Aid for Needy and Underprivileged Persons is an initiative and an organization that has been initiated in order to cater for those that are really in need and they are underprivileged by other circumstances. This has been in my blood since I knew things, because in my life experience, if it is not to be someone else somewhere, I wouldn't have been rich here. That's why that organization has been formed, and it is still going on to give its services to people. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vuciri, what are some of the things that you do at this organization, the services?
Okay, at the CANUP, that is the short form of Christian Aid for Needy and Underprivileged people. The services that we actually offer is one, the educational service, two, supporting the elderly, and three, we are aspiring to be having an orphanage center, for which we still did not started, bringing the children at one place, but we started giving them support also And four is, of course, offering spiritual services. That is by sharing and teaching Bible to people that are in need of it. Those are basically the services that we give.
And how long has it been ever since you started this organization?
This organization has started a long time. I can say it is like 7 years now, though it has not been visible as of now, but it was existing. It was existing some 7 years ago with some small services. There was an initiative that is called iConnect. iConnect having its motive of changing the world, helping the young ones to have passion in IT-related field, and giving them some guidelines to help them in their studies, and also giving evening classes for kindergarten and primary school, and also providing some career guidance for secondary school pupils. That was back in Juba. Yeah, so that was briefly.
So you've existed for 7 years. That means there must be an impact this organization has caused so far in the region.
Sorry?
I'm saying 7 years of the existence. Are there some visible impacts of this organization in your region, or maybe in South Sudan in general, and some parts of Uganda?
Yeah, indeed, a lot of very tangible impact. One, for example, some 5 years ago, when I was in Juba, there was this issue of niggas group gang who are disturbing people, bringing unrest, peace to the citizens. So what we did actually under this organization is involving ourselves in peace mediation. We brought peace, and these nigger groups resulted into living in peace and harmony, and the life of citizens, of course, resulted into peace, and everyone was happy. And most of them have left their nigger group, this gang group that do fight in a group and that are using every weapons that they have. They were able to voluntarily surrender their weapons, and they decided not to follow again what they were doing. Of course, when we brought them together, we told them exactly what is happening, what is supposed to be done, and what is not supposed to be done. So I call that as an achievement, because now peace has come finally, and people are living in harmony. And those that we used to be in other groups are now back. They are now bring that peace together. They do study together, and even via education, many children benefited from the service of education, and some of them were able to realize what they can do by education, and their future has been reshaped. And a lot of testimonies being given by the community. So, and of course, via the spiritual side, people were able to realize that it is God that created them, and they were not created only to live this life, but also to do a kingdom work by realizing their gifts that God has given unto them, and also to put it into action to expand God's kingdom. And those that are underprivileged, by not having some of the basic needs, they were able to get it in time, even if not too much. But we believe when we change one, we change the world. So we keep on supporting, and they were able to find peace and find love, because some of them were abandoned. They didn't know people that will come close to them. They will share other things that they don't have with the others. So there are a lot of actually some positive testimony from people, and we are believing and we are praying that one day when those that are still living in hidden area are brought into light and they are brought into compound, a lot of guidance will be provided to them, and they will grow up morally, and they will later come and serve community.
That's good. So based on what you've explained, CANUP is more of a community organization, unlike an organization that is private. Is it run by the community, or it has a leadership in church? And if it's church, which particular church?
Okay. CANUP is an organization that involves everyone. Like one of its service, which is called iConnect. When you write iConnect, you first pronounce I, which is involving you who is calling it. So meaning you are part of it. So the involvement of this organization is everyone who is having the heart to serve and give services to others. So community members are deeply engaged, church members are also deeply engaged, and everyone who is having that heart, as I told you, to serve, is also uh, in regarding to this. So the leadership, of course, it is being led by people who are devoted, who agree to give what they have, connecting what they have with the people who don't have. Uh, right now, I am still the leader, but I have trained many that I am still mentoring them to take over me. And many projects that we are doing, I have delegated some powers. I've put some people responsible to manage what they are doing. Rather later, they just report to me some of the challenges that they encounter. Then I involve myself, and then we solve it together. That's basically what I can tell you. But concerning leadership, everyone there is leader as long as you have what you can connect anyone who don't have anything that you are having. Thank you.
So what you're trying to say is, okay, what is confusing me is, do you have a specific team in this organization that leads the rest of the community in this kind of synergy?
Yeah. There are some leadership that are from community ground. There are some leadership that are from church, that is religious ground, and there are some leadership that are in educational ground. That is how we group it. So any service that is coming under the leadership of education, it will be done under that capacity. It will be those people to handle it, to manage it, and to oversee every activities and every procedures that is happening. And of course, education works hand in hand with the community, because yes, the community people are the ones benefiting. So the education leadership always come in harmony with community leadership to see into together what they are supposed to do as a mandate of the organization.
Okay, Mr. Vuciri. So you've earlier mentioned of something about gang groups. Apart from gang groups, is there any other source of instability in your region, Nimule, that maybe this organization is looking at tackling?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. The gang issue that I talked about was the one of Juba. However, there is also an issue of gang people that are disturbing. And of course, we have already identified, and we will soon start implementing it, because a lot of people are suffering from this very, very act, and it has resulted into loss of many lives, actually. So it is in a pipeline. Since this year have just begun, it is one of our projects that we are going to implement to involve this gang group. Though one in one, there are those that I personally met, and with some colleagues that I've met with them, they have handed over their, more especially the uniform that they were using when they are doing their operation, and also revealing some of their secrets that they used to actually operate on. So in some months to come, I know we will involve them as a group. We will look into how we will discipline them and bring full coexistence here.
Are you collaborating?
This one is not only here, but also some parts of Uganda here, that is neighboring Nimule. There are some refugees camps that are having South Sudan inside, that are residing there. So this gang group here are also there at the refugees camp. So since it is a cross border, we wanted to lay a very good strategy on how to handle them once. For if we handle only this one of Nimule, I know we will not be solving the problem from the root. That's why we wanted to first look into it critically and see how we can involve in other personnel from that side of Uganda, so that we will handle this issue. Thank you.
And this sounds to be a very sensitive topic. I know there are some things that you can't reveal here, but are you cooperating with the authorities on both sides on how to handle these issues that are cross-border?
Yeah, exactly. That is what we are planning to do, and we already initiated. We have a very good links. We have a very strong communication bond with these authorities, and any time that we started, of course, we will get into solution. For what we are right now waiting for is one or two things that we are still missing. Otherwise, it's good that this year began, and by the end of this year, we will have at least attained and solved 98% of the problem that is existing here. Thank you.
Wow, that's big. One of the things that you say the organization does was orphanages and also education alongside spirituality. How are you people handling traumas of some of the orphans that you get that, okay, orphans might be a startup project or in the future, but how are you guys handling their mental health? Some of them are orphans because of such gangs you've spoken of, etc., etc. Is there any kind of counseling in church? Are there therapists that are volunteering with the organization so that these children are guided as they grow up?
Yeah, thank you very much. That is a very sensitive area, and that's a very sensitive area, a very sensitive part. If it's not handled well, as you said, counseling, it will lead to total endanger to mental health. What I personally volunteer to do is I give some responsibility for others to identify for me those that are orphaned, and later, of course, asking them to create some connection, some networking, them so I talk to them. Because I personally also went through a lot, and I grew up as an orphan, and I stayed at the church compound, so
Wow.
I knew exactly what is happening. So sharing my experience with any of them, and even some of the orphanage centers or centers that are having orphanage, has helped a lot. And telling them about myself, giving them testimony, have inspired many and have restored hope unto them, because they know that is not the end of their life, for it is the love of God that I involve myself and publicly testifying and sharing about my life unto them. So later, then we said in the Word of God, and of course that one will still in the hope that they have in God, and keeping trusting and bringing hope again to anyone who might have lost hope. So right now, individually, group, or even as a church, that is what we involve ourselves in. Not discouraging, but always encouraging and telling them and inspiring them of the great thing that God has prepared for them before they were even formed in their mother's womb. Thank you.
I'm really humbled by the great work you're doing there, inspiring to tomorrow's generation. And I just want to drive you a little into education before I go into the elderly. How are you promoting education of STEM subjects, that's sciences, technology, mathematics, economics, in your organization using the education module?
Okay. As for now, what we are focusing much about is about, of course, this primary education, whereby we give in this basic education knowledge that they need, that every child must have undergone through. And since it is still the nursery and primary section, we via economically, we actually are planning to involve this year something that they can do as their handwork by providing a series of these hand-on skill work like carpentry, building, at as early as they are, so that at the end of the level that they are finished, they will be able to do something that they can benefit from, rather than only focusing on this theoretical and educational part. And via technology, we have started, and though we still have very small resources, that is we are using my personal laptops to give them some computer knowledge so that they know exactly how things are done, and later involving this technology view in development of this world, so that at the end they also build and have interest via technology, since this world is changing, and we are just trying every access to make sure that these children get to know exactly what they're supposed to do at this early age. And of course, in future, what we have planned is to provide a technological center where people with different skills, people with different talent can come and identify and grow in their skills. And that will help not only them, but also the country at large. Of course, by providing some competition like for example, organizing bootcamp, organizing some hot debate about specific topics that can make them to realize their importance and their skills, and which will promote and expose them not only in Africa but to the world. So that's actually what we are planning, and I know by trusting in the Lord, we will reach to where we started with a small thing, but we have seen the hand of God in everything that we're doing, and multiplying and doing in some ways that were closed initially. So last year we were having one computer, but towards the end of last year we also got another one, which is two, and we believe the start of this year will be something else will be added, and which will help us to achieve what we plan to do. So that's basically what we are planning to encounter at the site of STEM. Thank you.
And I wish to appreciate you. You guys have taken a bold step with the limited resources. Are there people that are not from your community that are supporting you? And if yes or no, which are other people? How can other people join you people to support you financially, through volunteering, and other forms that you can highlight for us?
Okay, currently there is no one really that is openly supporting us. The major support that is coming from my salary, using what I am getting monthly to support with the initiative, and others also are being touched. Towards the end of last year, I wrote some proposal, and I have to look over the internet to search for some donors who can help us at least to continue to do what we are doing at a larger scale. And I remember even last year, one of the challenges that we got was the wind and heavy rain spoiled the classroom that I have constructed, and it has brought me back into square zero because I've used this temporary carpet, these temporary resources, because still I didn't have enough to buy and to access concrete. So I welcome everyone who will really wish to support and to work with us in any way is really welcome. I think if they're there, so it is the high chance for them to just contact me for their information on how they can send in their support, because it's really our prayer so that we support these children that are in need and that are underprivileged. So in any way, if God talk to you, anything, because for us, we don't put a limit. Every small thing that you put for you is small, but in the hand of God, it is very, very big, and it is much. It is touching and changing someone's life. And when you change someone's life, you have changed the life of the world. That's why we believe by saying, changing one, changing the world. Thank you.
Wow. So please share with us some of the contacts that some people can use to reach out to you to see how they can help, whether the children, elderly, orphanage, and whatever other projects you might be having.
Okay. The contact that they can actually contact is this line +11 926 270 222. It's both on call and on WhatsApp, and even my Ugandan line +2567 8581 555. It's also both on call and on WhatsApp. And for email, you can write to CANUP, CANUP SREI@gmail.com. Those are the contacts that anyone who feel can contact us so that we look into how we can support and change the world together, of which I know and I believe all of us can do it. Thank you.
Mr. Vuciri, as I close up this, I'm going to give you 1 minute to openly speak out to people out there that might not be in South Sudan or Nimule, that really need to hear a certain message from you that might, one, inspire them in whatever they are working on, and number two, to help them get ignited with what you've started so that all together we can make South Sudan and the rest of Africa a better place.
Okay, thank you to anyone, to everyone who have listened to me and who is having a desire to serve the community or to change the world. You don't think at the big thing. You start at the small level. Look within your family. Look outside your family and start. Don't be demoralized with what you have. Remember, the small at your hand is what someone is in need of at the level that he or she is. So I know some of you might have started doing something. What actually the challenge that most of us face here is we are facing to invest in some of the projects that only benefits us. I tell you, and what keeps me in moving is always invest in people. Don't invest in any material thing. If you invest in any material thing, you can succeed for a short time, but you will be forgotten for the rest of your life. But if you invest in a person, you will succeed in a long time and you will suffer for a short time. So I am encouraging anyone who is there having the heart to support. I know some of the situations that if you stare at it, you say tears, more especially here at our region. If you look at other situations, there's nothing that you can do other than crying and praying for them. Because there are those who are going without food a day, a week, a month. It is so touching. Now, if you're there eating, fully satisfied, and at times you even poured out some of the food. And remember, there are some people somewhere who are starving to death, not having anything to put into their mouth. So anything that you have, anything that you can do to at least help someone's life, do it. When you started it, you will see the hand of God in you working with you. Remember, what you're doing is you are doing God's work. Don't think God's work is only being done on Sunday at the pulpit. It is being done at the every day of your life activity. So you start it, you will see the hand of God. God will bless you, and you will not be forgotten. You will not be forgotten. If you want to be forgotten, you invest in your own thing, and you will see the danger. So thank you. For those that are having had to do it, please continue to do it, and God will be with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We really appreciate your time, Mr. Vuciri Stephen, and we are really humbled and honored by the great work you're doing for the people of South Sudan and some parts of Uganda. For the rest of the people that are listening in, we are challenged that most of the times we do not value the little blessings we have in our hands. You have a chance to food, you have a chance to a good night's sleep, and we still have the satisfaction towards our leaders, towards our God. But if we can learn to appreciate the little we have and share even the little we have further with those that don't have, we can create a better Uganda. By standing with Mr. Vuciri in his big project that is ongoing in Nimule, we are helping young children to create a generation that is not thinking of wars, not thinking of gangster groups, but thinking of how to make their community better. We are helping orphans to find homes. We are helping the elderly that do not have a chance to pensions to a better life. If we support this, it will be really a blessing. And for those that think they don't have enough to share, be challenged by some of those last words that he said, and may God bless you abundantly. Thank you very much, Mr. Vuciri, and we hope to speak to you soon with more better stories and success stories from you.
Thank you. And also, to add on, those that are having more than 5 clothes, there are very many people who are. So by sharing, at least picking one, even if it's not the best, but the Bible tells us to pick from the best, even one, to go and cover the naked person somewhere. That I have tried and it has helped, and many people's life has been changed. So I don't want to forget this up because it is what has brought in laughter again and peace of mind on other people's face. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time, and I will really be always there to share more again when contact again. Thank you very much.
Amen. Until next week, we shall be meeting here. Thank you very much, Mr. Vuciri. And in the next episode, we shall be looking at some other stuff. And for now, let's go back and reminisce about these words. May we all be blessed. Take care.